Meghan Markle pulling
that was my story. They'd
pulling
like
festive
to.
crackers.
They'd like to.
Yeah, it was your story, yeah. But none of this is going to help because there is this belief, which may or may not be true in the case of this book. Fact. I don't know, right? But we know in the first book, Meghan Markle said she had nothing to do with it and then under oath had to admit she did. If it turns out the same has happened here and she's authorised friends to help him and give him stuff, because let's face it...
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
This exchange of letters between Charles and Meghan Markle, only one of them can have told people about that. And Charles is not the kind of guy that's going to be telling people about a letter like that, which makes me think it's her and her friends or somebody has gone to Scobie. We'll wait and see.
Are you serious?
But if that is the case, this is going to be very damaging to the ongoing trust issues between Charles and Harry.
Well, trust is the key issue, and I think that was something I touched on in that piece about them saying we wouldn't decline an invitation to spend time with the family. The problem is, as you just rightly said, imagine what a whole Christmas at Sandringham would produce in terms of potential future content. And I think looking at, the phone call between Charles and Harry and Meghan...
Stop it.
Around Charles' 70th birthday. It was briefed before it happened, and it was briefed after. And I think if you can't even have a private phone conversation that isn't briefed before or after...
I honestly wouldn't trust... If that was someone in my family, after what they've done, repeatedly, I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them.
Trust is the issue, and
fact.
That's not changing anytime soon.
Let's go to Kahindi Andrews, be waiting patiently here. Kahindi, we've talked a lot about race issues over the years, but specifically here, there is no doubt that when they went on Oprah Winfrey 2 years ago, they made a series of allegations directly inferring racism by senior members of the royal family, which they've never produced evidence for, and which 2 years later Harry said, oh, we didn't mean...
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
In racism, we meant unconscious bias and so on. Do you not feel that that is incredibly damaging to people like you who constantly fight battles for racial equality, racial justice?
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
Try and fight proper battles about this. Is it not incredibly damaging to that when someone of their profile tries to pretend what they said to Oprah Winfrey was not what it was?
Stop it.
Well, no, I mean, I think the allegations when they came out, we all kind of believed it. It wasn't something that seems completely outrageous. Also, I'm not sure what evidence you could have. And actually, if you listen to the clips, they're clearly trying not to say the names because they know the names are going to cause this massive storm. But
Are you serious?
I think a bigger problem with the whole way this has been portrayed is Oprah's shocked, everybody's shocked. No black person I know was shocked that this came up in a conversation in the royal family. And the bigger problem here really is that actually it isn't about racist royals.
Wait for it.
It's about the royal family is racism. It is a symbol of white supremacy. That's the bigger problem.
Well, because
the way
they're
we
white.
talk about this now is completely
Because
ludicrous.
they're white.
No, not because they're white, but because they're white, because they are
Where is
almost
the evidence?
exclusively
Where is
white,
the evidence
because
of
they
them
are
being white
the link-
supremacists?
What is he doing?
Link back to the link back to colonialism. Why do we even... The idea that a country like Britain, which is incredibly diverse, an empire which was more diverse, is led by this almost exclusively white family into the 21st century. I'm sorry, that is
So you're judging them by their skin.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
That's the issue of racism.
So just to be clear, you're judging them by their skin colour, not the content of their characters.
No. I'm saying their skin colour is not an accident. It is not an accident that Meghan Markle
No, they're
is the
white.
first black person to
They
go
can't
into
help
the
being
family.
white.
It is not an accident that she's run out of the family.
Kahindi, they're
No, but
white,
that's the- no,
you're
their
black,
whiteness is the
I'm
point.
white, we
It's
can't
not
help
acci-
our skin colour.
It's not about their skin colour, it's about what it represents. The idea that that King Charles is the king of... My family's from Jamaica, which is 90% black people, and the king of, the head of state of Jamaica is the King Charles. It's ludicrous. That is a ludicrous thing in the 21st century. But that is what I'm saying, symbol of white supremacy.
Well,
That's
you're going to
what the
have a
problem
vote.
is. I couldn't care less if it was Kate.
Listen, countries like Jamaica will have votes and they can
It's not
decide...
about having a vote, it's about the...
No, but
No, it's
the
about
point
the
is you
history,
can...
it's about why
there
is
are
that. How can you
countries
defend
choosing...
it?
There are countries like Jamaica choosing whether they want to go independent. That's absolutely a democratic right. You don't have to have our monarch as the head of state.
The fact that's a choice The fact that's a choice in the 21st century tells you there's a big problem.
Do you think anyone then, so anyone in the royal family, just to be clear, anyone in the royal family, as far as you're concerned?
Are you serious?
Because it's so absolutely spot on and relevant. I don't think we are descending into tribalism. I think what's happening is that the virtualization of the world is enabling people who behave in a particular antisocial way, in a self-grandizing and self-promoting antisocial way. And I'll just read you the descriptions that are taken directly from this paper. So it was an actual study of online behavior. Women characterized by high self-centered antagonism, neurotic narcissism, Machiavellian views, Machiavellian tactics, so that's manipulativeness, meanness,
Stop it.
disinhibition, physical sadism, and indirect sadism, used Instagram for a longer time and more frequently than did men. In women, verbal sadism and emotionality was associated with longer, while honesty, humility, and conscientiousness was with a shorter Facebook usage time. Furthermore, women high in agentic extroversion, so that's manipulative self-promotion, and indirect sadism used Facebook for a longer time.
Are you serious?
And more frequently than men. And so I've thought for a while that one of the things that's happening to us as we virtualize the world is that we're enabling the small percentage of people, it's usually about 3% in general populations, who use manipulation and reputation savaging and denigration and self-promotion, so the genuinely psychopathic types, to dominate the social conversation and to spew their poisonous and manipulative venom into the public domain, not only with no fear of being stopped and no inhibition, which is almost all applied socially, but also while being monetized and promoted by the people who run the social media channels.
Are you serious?
And every society forever has had to contend with a small percentage of people who will utilize all the benefits of society only for themselves. They had to contend with the fact that those people, if not brought under control, can demolish the structure of the entire society. And I think the polarization that we're feeling is a consequence of their untrammeled expression online, Instagram, Facebook, and in online comment forums like Twitter.
Ernest Owens, thank you very much indeed for joining me. And now, I don't know much about you, other than you wrote a piece last week for Rolling Stone magazine saying cancel culture is good for democracy. So I'm going to come to that ludicrous premise in a minute.
Okay.
But I also remember you tweeting when I left Good Morning Britain, a series of tweets calling me a racist, including enjoying how folks keep getting Piers Morgan together for his racist tirades against Meghan Markle on Good Morning Britain. I was just curious, could you remember a single racist thing that I said about her, or have ever said about her?
Wait for it.
Well, thank you for having me on, Piers. I was surprised when I found out I would be on your show.
We're an uncensored show, Ernest. We take all types on here.
Well, all types. Well, there you go. But I think really a lot of it just seemed to be biased. I think that you was really just harsh on the Duchess of Sussex, and I think there was a little bit of bias in the way that you had really gone after her.
Yeah, but Ernest, to be clear, I didn't ask you about that. I just said, what were the racist tirades?
You better answer the fucking question.
What racist thing have I ever said about Meghan Markle? I'm curious. You tweeted quite a few times that I was a racist. I'm just curious, what was the racism?
I said your remarks. I said your remarks was racist. I didn't say verbatim.
What were the remarks that were racist?
You can do it. I think that it's biased. I think that you had a sense of bias of how you were speaking about her and how you was really being insensitive to her mental health and how you were denying a lot of her concerns.
Being biased or sceptical of some of her claims is not the same as being racist.
Are you serious?
What was the thing I said that was racist?
No, I never. Hold on. Do you want the person of color to speak, or do you want to just talk over me?
Nothing to do with your skin colour, Ernest. Sorry, nothing to do with your skin colour. I don't care if you're black or white or anything else. I just want you to try and tell me, giving you tweeted to your many followers repeatedly.
Are you going to let me talk?
By the
or
way,
are you just gonna keep overtalking me?
repeatedly, you did this repeatedly. You have called me a racist repeatedly for racist things I've said about Meghan Markle.
I said you made
I
racist
simply
remarks.
want you
I did not call you a
to
racist.
stand by what you tweeted. What was it I said about Meghan Markle?
I am. Would you let me talk?
Ever that's been racist?
Stop it.
Are you going to let me talk, or are you just going to overtalk me?
Just answer the question. Stop asking different questions.
That's microaggression. You're asking a black person to explain how what you did could be perceived as racist, and rather than let me finish talking, you're over-talking me and being highly defensive.
Am I being racist
so I feel
again,
like a hit
Ernest?
dog is hollering right now.
Am I being racist again?
You're being dismissive. Can I actually talk? Or
Maybe because you're not answering the question,
what's the point of you on the show? Okay, so can I answer the question?
Yes,
here?
Nice.
Can, please do.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So your targeting of Meghan Markle's mental health, gaslighting her specifically, calling to question the legitimacy of her claims about the royal family being racist, you dismissing those claims, you consistently having a sense of badgering her and targeting her, it's felt like on my end that there was some racial bias there. Now, you may feel like it's not. Maybe it's sexism. Maybe it's misogynoir. Maybe it's a combination of both her gender and her race.
No, God, please!
But it was perceived by thousands of people. 57,000 people had called Good Morning Britain about some of your behavior.
No, you see, you've got to be very careful,
Ernest. Mischaracterizing the situation on Fox.
Ernest.
Stop it.
You act like it's just Meghan Markle, but it wasn't just Meghan Markle. It was other people who had concerns.
You do have to be careful when you spew more lies, unfortunately, because 57,000 people...
Weren't you not spewing lies?
I'm about to
Fox
explain
News?
what you just said was wrong.
Are you serious?
A lie. 57,000...
Or you're going to give your interpretation.
If you're going to let me answer the question, 57,000...
Go ahead, Piers.
Ernest, 57,000 people complained to Ofcom, the TV regulator. And guess what?
Correct.
5 months later, every one of the complaints was thrown out, and Ofcom found in my favour to have my right to free speech and freedom of expression. Woo! But I come back to my initial point about you. You repeatedly tweeted to many people that I'm a racist, and I'm simply asking you to name one single comment.
Stop it. Get some help.
Ernest, one single comment I've ever made.
Between racist comments?
So, did I say a racist tirade? What was it?
I felt like your attacking of Meghan Markle was racially biased.
Oh, you felt like
and I
it.
believe
you felt like it was your feeling.
I felt that way.
It was your feeling that I'm a racist, was it?
I felt like what you did was racially insensitive. I never said verbatim on Twitter that you were a racist. I said you made racist
actually,
remarks.
You just said enjoying how folks keep getting...
And
Piers
there's a
Morgan
difference.
together for his racist tirades. We're actually looking at your tweet now, Ernest. And there were plenty more. In fact, while I'm talking to you, we'll dig the others out. Just go and dig them out, folks. Here's my point, Ernest.
Wait for it.
The reason that people think that I may have had a racist connotation to my criticism of Meghan Markle is because people like you, high-profile black people in America, kept saying that without any evidence.
Get some help.
And now I've got you on my show. I'm finally able to ask you, why did you tell lies about me?
You're blaming the black guy?
I'm not blaming the black guy. I'm blaming you as a high-profile black man for claiming wrongly and defensively
you're blaming the
that I
black
was
guy.
Surprise, motherfucker.
racist in my motivation towards my criticism of Meghan Markle, which, to be clear, my criticism of her and Prince Harry is I think they both tell lies. They both recently said they didn't mean to call the royal family racist.
Are you serious?
When we heard them say it with their own mouths on national television. So my point to you, Ernest, is you can say these things. You could say these things on Twitter, but when you're actually held to account for them,
you said about Meghan Markle, and look at the impact that had on her mental health. You have a bigger platform than me, and you've attacked Meghan Markle and it's impacted her mental health. And I feel like someone like me, as a black person, defending her as an innocent black woman in that situation, I felt like I was standing up for her. You need to be accountable for your impact and your power.
Oh, I stand by everything I said.
You have a big influence, and you're trying to play a victim.
I stand by.
What you did
I'm
to
not
Meghan
a victim.
Markle, and it was disrespectful.
No, Ernest, I'm not a victim, and I'm not a racist.
Are you a victim, Piers?
Ernest, I'm not a victim, and I'm not a racist.
Are you serious?
I'm somebody who listened to that.
I never called you racist. I said
listened
you made
to the
racist remarks.
Oprah Winfrey. Just let me finish speaking. I listened to the Oprah Winfrey show, I watched it, and I identified immediately a number of lies. Wow! And I said that on air the next morning. Other guests disagreed with me, and you were delighted about the way they came after me, and that's fine. But then you said I was racist, repeatedly. That my criticism was racially motivated.
You're being intellectually dishonest. You did not just say she was a liar. You questioned other aspects of her mental health.
No, I said I didn't believe them.
Aspects of it as offensive. Repeat what you said.
I said I didn't.
Repeat what you said.
I said I didn't believe her.
Stop it.
Why?
Because there is no evidence to support the claims that she made. She said she went to a senior member.
So her expressing
I'm about
what
to tell
happened
you,
to her, how
Ernest,
she felt, was no evidence?
Ernest, I'm about to tell you what I said.
Okay.
She said she went to a senior member of Buckingham Palace staff and said she was feeling suicidal, and that member of staff said she couldn't get help. That story doesn't reappear in Harry's 415-page book.
Are you serious?
And has never been substantiated by anybody else, nor has it been repeated by Meghan Markle.
You didn't know that when you said that,
I'm afraid,
though, but you did not know that when you said that.
Sorry, I didn't believe it. It didn't sound true. And by the way,
but why?
I'm allowed...
But why you didn't believe it?
Ernest...
You better answer the fucking question.
Why?
Ernest...
You're allowed to... So you're allowed to believe that she's lying, and I can believe that what you said was racially biased.
I'm allowed to disbelieve
And I'm allowed to believe that what you said was racially biased.
And I'm also allowed to disbelieve you when you call me a racist.
Stop it.
Because it's wrong. And you shouldn't do it.
I said that you made racist remarks. I did not call you a racist, Piers. You're trying to make yourself a martyr in a situation that you started. You didn't have to go disrespectful below the belt with Meghan. You chose to do that. And now you're mad because other people disagree with you.
For what I thought was a disgusting attack on the British royal family.
You made ad hominem attacks against her character. You assassinated her character before the British press, and you know how the tabloids have been towards her.
Why are you running?
You understood what you were doing.
I've been just as scathing, if not more so, against Prince Harry, who I actually think is more to blame.
Didn't you? I want to know if this is true. Riddle me this. Wasn't there a point in time where at least you tried to pursue a relationship with her? You all had
absolute nonsense.